We'll have the national and international news, but first your ITV news from the Channel Islands.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of ITV News on Channel Television. We're live from the red carpet as Hollywood comes to Jersey. As we speak, the island's very own superstar and Superman Henry Cavill is flying into St Helier to bring the blockbuster home.
I feel very, very lucky to be a part of this.
We'll also be looking back at Henry Cavill's meteoric rise to stardom from talented Jersey man to Superman, and speaking to those who've witnessed firsthand his transformation.
He would tend to be straight at the classroom door. The minute break was there, wanting to run through his part again.
And if that's not enough glitz and glamour for you, we'll have live interviews with A-list stars Henry Cavill, Russell Crowe and Amy Adams. Join us for all that and the rest of the day's news at the biggest showbiz event of the year. Good evening and welcome to a very special ITV News on Channel Television. It's a historic night here in St Helier as Hollywood comes to Jersey. Hundreds of islanders, as you can see around me, waiting to greet the homegrown star, Jerseyman Henry Cavill himself, for the local blockbuster of Man of Steel. Henry about to arrive and greet the guests and fans here, sign autographs and pose for photos with them. It's all very exciting. We're excited too. We're about to hear from him shortly, live on this programme, along with other A-list stars. But first of all, let's have a look at Henry in the film that everyone's talking about.
Hopes and dreams travel with you.
He'll be an outcast. I'll kill him.
How? He'll be a god to them.
Sent from another galaxy to rescue the world, a lot rests on the young, mercurial shoulders of Superman, and in turn, the film's star, Jerseyman Henry Cavill.
Henry has a ton of responsibility, you know. All the contradictions in a weird way that you have to understand. He's physical, but he's not physical. He can fly, but he has to pretend like he can't. All the things he can do that he has to keep inside.
His discovery of what and who he is something which layers his life with a sense of loss in that discovery. And ultimately an outsider at all stages of his life. And the only place he's ever made to feel at home is with Martha and Jonathan.
They're his Earth parents, played by Kevin Costner and Diane Lane.
Clark gets his kind of his DNA from his space father, from another galaxy, but he gets his character from Jonathan.
Clark's parents face the dilemma of protecting their son, but helping him realize and embrace his unique powers.
I believe that you were sent here for a reason, and even if it takes the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
He soon realizes once he comes into contact with General Zod, a dictator from an ancient community with a warped sense of what is right.
Surrender within 24 hours, or watch this world suffer the consequences.
Of course he doesn't, and what ensues is a fierce, epic battle for supremacy. The fate of the planet rests in General Zod's hands unless Superman can intervene, a character with special powers to match the special talent of Henry Cavill to have got to where he has. Well, what a huge night it is. A top local actor bringing a Hollywood premiere here to Jersey. But what might it mean for the island? Let's find out with Jersey Tourism's Simon Lahure. Simon, hopefully you can hear me around all the noise here. What do you make of it here tonight?
It's just fantastic, isn't it? It's really Hollywood's come to Jersey. It's Jersey at its best. It's just so exciting. And thank you, Henry, for doing it for us.
Can you capitalise on Henry Cavill's success?
We certainly hope so. We've been really busy over the last couple of weeks, and the family have been very helpful for us, and we've had great coverage already this week. Some really great newspapers have been covering it. Everybody's been talking about Jersey. Henry's been talking about Jersey, so we're just doing the best that we can.
Could we possibly see him in your next Jersey tourism advertising campaign, that'd be nice.
It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I'd absolutely love that, and so would everybody else, I'm sure. But I think we need to speak to Warner Brothers about that and his contract.
And you mentioned his family have been really good to you. What have they been saying?
They've been very helpful. They let us know about the premiere very early on, and they've been very helpful in getting some of the copyright issues that we needed sorted with Warner Brothers. Without their help, we wouldn't have been able to do it.
Simon Lahoure from Jersey Tourism, thank you very much indeed. Now, it has been a meteoric rise to stardom for Henry Cavill, from St Michael's student to Hollywood star. But just how did the Jerseyman land the role of Superman, the first ever Englishman to land that particular role? Jez has been back to his old school to learn how a little boy became a huge star of the silver screen.
As Superman, he's the new son of Krypton. But Henry Cavill is in fact the son of Jersey. In 1987, at the age of 4, he started school here at St Michael's Primary in St Saviour, and it was here that he first learned to tread the boards and showed his promise as an actor.
You never stop working from the early hours of the morning till late at night.
Although disguised by a beard, this is Henry, aged 8, playing a main part as the storyteller in a Christmas play. The drama teacher who cast him says Henry's talent and passion for acting was obvious from a young age.
I gave him the script to look at, and we went over it, and within 2 days he'd come back more or less knowing all of it, and he was very keen indeed. He actually was so much like a grandfather that the 2 little grandchildren, you can see in the videos, that they were looking up to him as if he was a grandpa, you know, not just a boy in the class above. And he was in character, which is a jolly hard thing to do, actually, I think, when you're 8.
But it wasn't until he was 24 that Henry got his first big break, playing the Duke of Suffolk in the TV series The Tudors.
What a pity if all should go awry.
Luckily for Cavill, it didn't, and his next big role was in the film Immortals, where he played a heroic villager who wages war on a wicked king.
I don't know if I can do what Zeus asks of me, but you can see the future.
And the future held big things for the Jerseyman, with the role of Superman just around the corner. But playing the Man of Steel meant pumping a lot of iron, a task that came naturally when you look back at his school photos. Being in the first team for hockey, rugby and cricket, he was clearly a keen sportsman.
He was a good athlete, therefore well coordinated, so any of the scenes where he needs to, I don't know, jump out of planes or whatever, he's very capable of doing, because he was a good coordinated athlete. But I could also see that he was perfectly capable of building up, with a bit of power lifting or whatever, building up his physique.
But it's the build-up of Henry's career that most impresses the aspiring actors at his old school.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
I think it's quite strange, and it's quite cool as well to see that, you know, we go to the school that this amazing actor went to.
It shows that anybody can be an actor. It doesn't matter if you're from a small place like Jersey.
Indeed, being from a tiny island hasn't stopped big things happening to the superstar. And where Cavill's career is concerned, the sky's the limit.
Well, I can tell you the noise levels have gone up just a few notches in the last few moments. One big reason for that, the man of the moment, Henry Cavill, is here with me. Henry, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Everyone's so pleased you've put on this premiere tonight in Jersey. Tell us why you did it.
Why? It's home. You know, this is where I'm from. This is the most important place I could possibly bring this back to. And I couldn't be happier to be here.
You've had the big headline premieres in New York and London. Is there a part of you where this means a little bit more? It's your home fans and your home island.
Not just a part of me, all of me. I mean, this trumps New York, this trumps London by a long, long way. I am so happy to be here.
And what about the film itself? How proud are you to be in that?
Very proud. It's an honour. It's very humbling, and just an amazing experience working with the people who I got to work with.
You speak about the people you got to work with. Russell Crowe, someone you've admired for many years. How special was that?
Very, very special. I mean, Russell is an amazing actor. Amy Adams is an amazing actress. All of the cast are absolutely stunning. And to work with them changed the whole experience. It made it something far more exciting and just incredible.
And you've been working so hard for so long for this moment, for this break. 13 years, you had a lot of knockbacks, and you've mentioned that publicly.
Absolutely.
How tough was that coming through that period?
It's always tough, but it's also part of the whole process with acting. You just have to deal with the being turned down. It's part of the process.
How much has your life changed over the past year?
Well, over the past week, it's changed an awful lot. I mean, this here in Jersey is just mind-blowing to me. I mean, this really brought it home, obviously, but brought it home in that crazy way where I've been in New York, been in London, and you kind of expect it because it's just the way it is, but coming back to Jersey and it being like this has made me realise a change.
You took a little deep breath there. What does all this mean to you? You're getting such adulation, people watching on tenterhooks next to us.
What does it mean to me? It means that I've done a good job, I guess. It's a great movie that we put together. A lot of love and attention went into it, and it's just nice to be here and have everyone so excited.
How big a break do you think this is for you?
Only time will tell. I just don't know. We had a pretty good opening night last night, so we're going to wait and see.
And the role of Superman, how do you approach such an iconic role?
With care and attention. It was something which I wanted to approach physically in a certain way and just really go to the source material. We pretended like none of the other live action stuff had existed before we created this, and so hopefully it's a great origin story for all the kids out there.
And just going back to Russell Crowe for a moment, because he's here, we're looking forward to seeing him in a bit. You met him back when you were at school as a teenager, and that connection has continued for many years. Just talk us through that briefly.
Goodness, I met him when I was about 16 years old. He was shooting Proof of Life, one scene of it in Stowe School, where I went to boarding school. And I walked up to him, said hello, said, you know, what's acting like? I'm considering becoming an actor. And he told me that it was, you know, it pays well, but sometimes they don't treat you so good. And I know I laughed, and then everyone ran up and asked for autographs, and so I waved at him over everyone's heads. 2 days later, he sends an Aussie rugby jersey, Vegemite, band CDs, some Australian sweets, and a picture of him in Gladiator saying, "Dear Henry, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." And I used that every time I came home, every time I was here working in Liquid or in London working in bars. I used that to keep me inspired and to keep pushing on.
Great story. Henry, thank you very much. Congratulations on the film, and do enjoy your evening. Well, lots of excitement here this evening. There's more to come. Don't go anywhere. We're back with more live reaction and interviews. But right now it's back to Jess in the studio for the rest of the day's news.
Thanks very much, Mark. Great job. We'll look forward to seeing you a bit later on. Now, in the meantime, the rest of the day's news, and fishermen in Alderney are outraged by government plans to bring in new fishing controls. They say imposing restrictions on when and where they can cast their nets will destroy the island's fragile fishing industry. But States members say putting a ban on overfishing will help conserve fish stocks. Leah Ferguson reports.
Raymond has been fishing in Alderney waters for decades, but fears his livelihood is now under threat after States members voted to ban fishermen from casting their nets in the island's northern bays. Raymond says the new restrictions will destroy the fragile fishing industry.
They will make us outlaws. Now, who are these people to try and make us outlaws? They are people that know nothing at all. It will mean the thin end of the wedge to the complete demise of the fishing industry.
But this man, who's responsible for the harbour and fisheries in Alderney, says the restrictions are an effort to prevent overfishing and conserve fish stocks.
It's nobody's intention to victimise any section of the fishing community, none whatsoever. What we want to do is make sure that there are adequate, constant, sustained fish stocks that grow and grow and grow, thus increasing the catches of the people who fish them. But we need, the time has come to actually manage them properly.
Fishermen say they will fight back by refusing to sell their catch on island.
The only thing we can do is stop selling all wet fish and shellfish ashore. That's the only thing we can do. It's our right. We're not breaking the law doing that. And that will affect tourism, that will affect hoteliers and restaurants already. There's some very worried about it.
The Estates and Services Committee are worried too. They're inviting fishermen to meet them to discuss their concerns. Leah Ferguson, ITV News.
Meanwhile, a date's been set for the trial of the French captain and the first officer who was sailing a Condor ferry, which was involved in a crash that killed a French fisherman. The pair are charged with the manslaughter of Philippe Le Saunier, who died in a collision between his boat and the Condor Vitesse in Channel Island waters in March 2011. The men are also charged with the unintentional wounding of 2 other fishermen. The trial will take place on the 26th of June. It's been revealed that Guernsey's bus company will be fined for dropped services. Environment Minister Roger Domal also confirmed that CT Plus could be on its last warning. The company has already been issued 2 remediation notices for failing to sort out continued disruption. Last month, Deputy Domal said a third might lead to a breach of contract. Now it faces its monthly payment from the department being cut by a significant amount.
In addition to the remediation notices, there is provision in that for us to claim service credits for things such as drop services. And what we do is that the month following, we add up the number of drop services. There's certainly a way in the contract, and then we do a calculation for how much we're going to reduce the payment to CT Plus by.
Staying in Guernsey, and the Royal Bank of Scotland is to close 2 branches in the island. NatWest in St Martin's and the Royal Bank Place branch in town will shut from September. The company's made the decision after a strategic review. It says the branches are used less than they were and no staff will lose their jobs. OK, you're watching ITV News, which continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Here's Julie Etchingham.
Coming up at 6:30, the Syrian crisis intensifies. Tonight, the Prime Minister says he shares the US belief the regime has used chemical weapons and warns al-Qaeda may be trying to get its hands on them too. So what will the West do next? Revealed William's ancestors and his genetic link to India.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Plus, who owns Happy Birthday, the multi-million-dollar lawsuit over the most famous song in the world? Join Mark Austin and me at 6:30.
Now a look ahead to the weekend sport, and it's set to be a record-breaking few days at Foots Lane. With details on that and the rest of the sporting action, here's Helena Carter.
GB athlete Steph Twell takes centre stage at Foots Lane tomorrow for the Intertrust Golden Meeting. The Olympian will be setting her sights on the island all-comers 1500-metre record. And Craig Pickering's 100-metre record set at Foots Lane in 2007 is under threat from Premier League athlete Greg Cackett. The Belgrave sprinter is targeting both the 100 and 200-metre all-comers records, hoping to become the fastest man ever on Guernsey soil. Jersey's Le Tournoi football tournament gets underway this weekend. More than 70 children's teams are taking part, with Premier League coaches from Arsenal and Everton giving top tips to our next generation of footballers. And it'll be a new experience for the island's motorsport enthusiasts tomorrow, when St Saviour's Reservoir plays host to its first ever hill climb. The break from the usual Val de Terre circuit will see a strong field, with visiting Jersey stars including Darren Warwick and Oliver Holmes.
So, plenty of sport over the weekend, but will the weather be staying fine for that and all the fans grabbing a glimpse of the stars at the Man of Steel premiere this evening? Our very own weather superwoman, Sophie, has the details for the next 5 days.
Weather spells. Aurigny.com, the Islanders' ally, sponsors of ITV Channel Weather.
Well, if I was Superwoman, I'd certainly make the conditions for the weekend a little bit more promising. We do have a rather changeable set of conditions to come over the next few days, but really the satellite image explains it all. Some patchy cloud around today, but we did see some fairly decent sunshine at times, but it's this great big arc of cloud that's heading towards us tonight. Now, the good news is that that will clear us during the course of tomorrow, but unfortunately, we'll also see the winds increase. You can see those isobars squeezing together, although there is, believe it or not, an influence influenced from an area of high pressure somewhere in there. But let's just look at tonight in a bit more detail. We do have some fine conditions at the moment, but from around 9 o'clock in Guernsey, 10 o'clock in Alderney and Jersey, I think we will start to see the first light patchy rain arrive. Now that will all clear by dawn tomorrow, but we won't see temperatures fall any lower than 12 degrees, so a rather close night to come. Then tomorrow, well, as that front has passed through, we will see the winds have increased, so it could well be strong force 6 to the north of the area. So despite some sunshine for the first part of the day, I don't think temperatures are going to rise very high, and in fact from around lunchtime we will see an increasing cloud cover, so we're looking at highs of between 14 and 18 degrees. Conditions on the water are moderate to the south, rather off to the north. Sea temperature remains 13 degrees and high tides from 10:41 tonight through to 11:22. So looking ahead, there will be some sunshine over the weekend. Sunday, possibly a little bit of rain in the morning, certainly a bit more rain to come on Monday, and then by the looks of things high pressure will build into the middle part of the week, so there should be some dry conditions to come then. But really it's nothing very exciting with regards to temperatures tomorrow, but Lydia is helping me with my summary. Do have a lovely weekend.
Aurigny.com, sponsors of ITV Channel Weather.
Well, the weather is pretty good in St Helier this evening at least, as the star-studded premiere of Man of Steel, featuring Jersey's very own Superman, Henry Cavill, is in full swing. So let's head back now over to the red carpet and rejoin Mark. And Mark, it must be buzzing down there.
A real buzz down here, Jess, and a sense of anticipation as well, because we've got Henry here, which is fantastic. Everyone's excited about that, but we're still awaiting the arrival, certainly in this direction, of Russell Crowe and Amy Adams. We'll keep you posted on that, but many lucky guests going to the premiere here tonight, the big film, Man of Steel. Here's a taster of what they can expect.
Journeyed across an ocean of stars to reach you. Your world has sheltered one of my citizens. He will look like you, but he is not one of you. To those of you who know of his location, the fate of your planet rests in your hands. To Kal-El, I say this. Surrender within 24 hours, or watch this world suffer the consequences.
So many people very excited here tonight. Here are a couple of fans looking forward to it. You're a huge Henry Cavill fan, aren't you?
Huge fan. He's my hero. He really is.
How special is tonight to you then?
Very special. I've got a show at 7:30, so I'm hoping it comes down here soon. I want an autograph, please. So please come down here.
You're there, ready and waiting, we can assure Henry. And how about you? You're actually here just visiting, aren't you? What does this mean?
It's on holiday, brilliant. Just came shopping and here I am. So it's really, really good. So exciting, huge atmosphere, brilliant.
Okay, thank you to both of you. Enjoy your evening. We hope you get those autographs as well. Let's have a quick listen now to what the director, Zack Snyder's got to say about this huge film.
Henry has a big, there's a ton of responsibility, It's all the contradictions in a weird way that you have to understand. He's physical, but he's not physical. He can fly, but he has to pretend like he can't. He has, all the things he can do that he has to keep sort of inside, but also doesn't resent that, and he's okay with it, even though he's been sort of persecuted by the human race. He still finds good in them, all those things. That he absorbed that and loved it, in a way that I think allows this Superman to be really relatable.
That's the take of Zack Snyder, the director of Man of Steel, on the big blockbuster. Let's hear now from Kevin Costner, someone else in the movie.
Clark gets his DNA from his space father, from another galaxy, but he gets his character from Jonathan. So the DNA for the one, and then the character about who he is as a person as he walks on Earth, he's learned from his mother and his father.
Right, well, as I say, plenty of people still waiting with a bit of anticipation. Henry Cavill's spending a bit of time up there, signing autographs, posing for photos. Still some anticipation here, sir?
Yeah, for Mr. Crowe.
Mr. Crow's keeping us all in suspense. So what about you, sir? Why did you come down here tonight?
Waiting to see Henry. I think he's amazing. He's done Jersey proud, so fair play to him. And I'd like to see Amy as well, so fingers crossed I get to see Amy.
You've been here a while, I think. I recognise that colourful T-shirt.
I've been here for about, I will lie, 2 hours I think I've probably been stood here, so I'm hoping to get a couple of nice pictures, put them on Facebook, show my friends, and my wife's having a go into the preview tonight, so that's fantastic. So she's down there and I'm stood here getting good snaps, so it's great, it's fantastic.
And very briefly, how impressive is this achievement of Henry Cavill's?
Oh, I think it's absolutely awesome. I think he's a smashing fella, so down to earth, and you can see that by him going around to see everyone, and he takes time out to sign posters and things like that. I think he's great. Fantastic person.
Well, Henry Cavill is a huge star here, obviously, tonight, and a lot of people very excited about seeing him. We're also hopefully very excited about seeing Russell Crowe and Amy Adams as well. Let's just take a little look around at the moment. We are still awaiting them to come down, but we are being assured that Russell is on his way very shortly. We do hope to speak to him, just to confirm, before the end of this programme, so do stay tuned with us for that. But in the meantime, people just waiting with their posters, waiting with their autograph books as well. So Russell Crowe is on his way. We hope to speak to live, but before we do hear from him, let's hear what he had to say a little while ago about the film.
The weight of the world is on his 27-year-old shoulders at the moment, and it's his discipline that has been most impressive, you know, that he's just stuck with it, and he's just, you know, head down, get the thing done, you know. He brings a lot of care to it as well. He's obviously done a lot of thinking about it and stuff. So, you know, the few scenes that we've had together have been very enjoyable, you know.
We're just having frantic conversations here, as you might imagine. This is a surreal evening here in St Helier. We've never had an event like this, and clearly Hollywood stars are maybe a little bit more unpredictable than most. We've spoken to Henry Cavill. It's fantastic to hear from him a little earlier on. We're just trying to get confirmation of whether we can get a quick 30 seconds with Russell Crowe, but no sight of him, unfortunately, as yet. But rest assured, we will stay here and hopefully get an interview with him and possibly play it to you later on. But I can tell you, very lucky people going in to see that film tonight, because I saw it earlier on this morning, and it is a superb film. Fantastic action, real lung-busting entertainment, and Henry Cavill does play that role of Superman and indeed of Clark Kent very well. That blend of courageousness and of vulnerability that those two characters portray. So some lucky people in there tonight. Certainly recommend you watching it at home. So unfortunately, we're not going to get Russell Crowe. We're running out of time here. We do hope to speak to him, and of course, as and when we do, we'll upload that to channelonline.tv and hopefully play it for you in our late news as well. But for me and everybody down here, it's just about time to wrap up. So one little last look around, assessing the scene, a scene we might not see here in St Helier. Little cheer from people who are still sticking around waiting for their autographs. But for me, all the team here, good night. ITV News is next.
Where's my shirt? Which one? The blue one. I think it's drying. Drying? I need it now. You know I needed it. I'm sorry, I needed to take the kids to the doctor. You're always making excuses, aren't you? Aren't you? Sorry isn't good enough. It was a mistake. You're not good enough. You're stupid. Please, I'll fix it now. Please.